Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pastime Paradise podcast. My name is Aldrine.
This is Kai.
And I'm Aaron.
Welcome, all you folks. You have now arrived at the Pastime Paradise. Gentlemen, today I kind of wanted to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart because as a professional musician, this has been my bread and butter, honestly. From moving here to Hawaii, I noticed that a lot of the music that I heard on the radio were basically like cover songs of older songs that I've heard before. So when I was younger, there was really this weird like gray area between like a song that you hear on the radio and who it's actually by. Because up until like later on in life, I didn't know that songs like Brown Eyed Girl were like by someone else and not the Ka'au Creator Boys. You know, like it's pretty common. So today I want to talk about which cover song is better than the original.
This is also a question posed to us by Genevieve.
Nice.
Yeah, she said like which cover song is as good or better than the original. So I guess it can be either, right? Like yeah.
So basically anything that falls into that category. Maybe a song that wasn't written by that person or a song that previously released before then, maybe, or it's just a song that is not by that person originally.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep.
I'll get started. I mean, basically the entire Ka'au Creator Boys. No.
Yeah.
Catalog.
Yeah. Every song that they did,
Yeah.
they didn't really have any originals, right? There were like only a couple.
Right. I'm gonna start things off with as my bread and butter as an ukulele player. One of the greatest covers that I've heard is Body Surfing. Body Surfing by Pure Heart is a cover of Body Surfing originally done by Ota-san. The Ota-san version really awesome. Okay, so people are probably gonna come at me, okay? But I have like personal ties to this, to this cover. So the original Ota-san, it was done like back, I don't even know, maybe 70s, like the original version of that song that came out. And there was like an entire part that's missing from that version that isn't in the Pure Heart version.
Okay, wait. Maybe back up a little bit because like not everybody is familiar with ukulele. So like
I guess
who is Ota-san and
Yeah.
I thought I introduced like the here's the song, here's who covered it, and here's who did it first.
Yeah.
And so Body Surfing is considered in the modern ukulele era as one of the like standards, as we would say, like on ukulele. For those of you folks that don't play ukulele, Body Surfing is one of like the first songs that once you complete it and once you can play it with confidence, it'll give you that feeling of like, man, I'm a really good ukulele player.
Yeah.
Like when you just learn it, you play it, even just playing the melody makes you feel like you know what you're doing with those four strings.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's in that sense like a magical song. If a person is able to play it and they're able to play it like for people, it's a really great melody. It goes ba ba da 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 da. It's got the repetitive part of it, but it's also got the challenge. So right before this, like Aaron was talking about earworms and stuff, that is something that'll just get stuck because it's such a great melody line. Now, the original was done by Ota-san, like I said, around the 70s. It's in the same key, same everything, but there are some stark differences between the original and the version that I'm talking about. Because the original is by Ota-san, but the version that I'm talking about that I like just as good, if not better, is the version by Pure Heart. Now, the version by Pure Heart came out about 2000.
Do you know what album it came out on?
Yes, Pure Heart 2.
Okay.
Track 6. Pure Heart 2, track 6. I've never heard it the original version before that because Spotify wasn't a thing, YouTube wasn't a thing, so it's not like something that I could find. If I wanted to listen to that, I would have had to like hunt down the Ota-san version on probably vinyl or cassette or something. Like I would have had to have known about that song in order to go look for it, because it's not a song that was like Ota-san's top whatever or most popular songs. It's kind of like a hidden gem almost, for casual listeners like myself to Ota-san. But I guess to Jake Shimabukuro, that's like one of those songs that you already know. So I think the cover for me is just as good, if not better, because once I heard it, it's got this driving beat. And with Pure Heart's a trio that is like a ukulele, guitar, and percussion trio. So the percussions behind it, I feel like really drives the song. And the tempo that they chose, so this is the controversial part, I think the layout of the cover is better than the original. Because the layout of the cover is very, in a sense, kind of popish, where it's like it starts with the chorus, is chorus, verse, and then it goes to this bridge and then chorus out. So it like you kind of know what's coming up. As far as the Otasan version, I believe it's chorus, verse, chorus, and then to its own bridge. And then it goes to like an improvised solo part, and then it's just all over the place. Whereas the Pure Heart version solidifies that this is the part you want to listen to because this is the main melody, and I'm gonna give it to you as many times as I'm able to give it to you. And then the verse itself is pretty standard. Whereas like Ota-san's verse weaves into the bridge part, which then leads into a solo part. I just think that the way that Pure Heart did it seemed a little bit more radio friendly.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, right, too, because I think Osa-san, I know Hawaii is like one of his well-known covers, but he did like jazz songs or kind of lounge songs too.
Yeah.
And then he did instrumental versions of that. But I think for that time period, you take songs and then it's like, I'm going to play the melody, but then after a little bit, I'm going to play my own thing, kind of improvise something, and then maybe I'll come back with the melody at the very end. But it's not something where it's like the Pure Heart version where we're gonna make sure you know the melody really well and then kind of just like stick to it, right? For jazz musicians back then or that kind of performer, it was more about like I'll tease it a little bit here so you pick up on it and you're like, oh, that's what that song is, but then I'll take you away from that, you know, so you're not just sitting there humming the main melody all night.
Because I really love the kind of bridge that the original had, and it completely goes somewhere else. Like it goes like to this major that you don't see coming, but maybe it was like a little too different, that like it seemed like it was another song. So in a way, like Pure Heart kind of organized it and just made it, we're like, well, this is our interpretation of the song, and it's kind of like slimmed down, and like I said, it's more radio friendly. It didn't really play on the radio, but if you know, if I were like an instrumental radio station, hearing that versus the original, I think is more for casual listeners even.
Here on Kauai, you hear the radio, and then sometimes they'll I don't know if they get the licensing rights to put the music behind, you know, whatever local commercial or whatever. But then I'll be listening to it and I'm like, this is Kavika. Like, you guys just straight up took this from, you know, Car Crater Boys or Pure Heart or somebody.
You're gonna get somebody in trouble, Kai.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, radio is what. Do people listen to the radio anymore, anyways? But I think that what you're saying though, the Pure Heart body surfing, like that could be used for that kind of purpose, right? Whereas like the Otosan one, I can see where they probably could, but then it would have to be like that first chorus or whatever only, right? Stripped down. And be like, okay, this.
So I mean, I'm not gonna talk about these others and stuff, but there is a bunch that cut from the same cloth, like instrumentals that came out before, but then like the cover version of it is better. So but for me, Body Surfing was the best one. Others include Guava Jam, for example, by Sunday Manoa. Completely different song from the cover by Troy Fernandez. For those of you folks who don't listen to ukulele, here's some great ukulele standards for you to listen to. It's not just little Grass Shack stuff. This is like virtuosity kind of ukulele. Okay, so if you guys listen to these, it's like, man, I can't believe ukuleles can do this. So make sure you check them out. And another one is Olinda Road by originally done by Barry Flanagan for the Hapa album, but the way that Jake did it for Pure Heart, I felt like it was the better cover. Same thing, like Jake just kind of organized that song like a lot better and really narrowed down what the melody line is. So that song, I guess, like a Body Surfing, but on the same cloth as the other two.
Yeah, I think even for people who are familiar with ukulele music, right? A lot of us grew up with Pure Heart and Car Crater Boys, but then like hearing that it's like, oh, actually this person did it first. Was surprising to us, and being like, oh man, I never even heard the original, you know? So
back in the day. So this is kind of, you know, coming off of last week's episode where like videos and stuff on the internet that existed. I used to have like a Zanga, which is like an online diary. I wrote down lyrics to, I think it was Crazy Love. And I had put down that it was like by Justin Young. And then
Justin Kavika Young.
yeah, Justin Kavika Young. And then Ryan went and corrected me. He's like, you know that song's by Van Morrison, right? Like called out online. It was so funny. But yeah, it's just growing up in Hawaii. You never know like what's an original song and what's like a Hawaii only cover, because anyone outside of Hawaii wouldn't have heard that cover.
It's like even Car Crater Boys is known for doing Rhythm of the Falling Rain or country songs too.
Yeah.
And we grew up with the Car Crater Boys versions.
Yeah,
And then when we hear the original, it's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I thought there's supposed to be an ukulele solo right here, but it's like a steel guitar or something else.
Man,
it's like, okay.
I can't wait for and I'm like a professional ukulele player, but I can't wait for the purists like to go after me. They're like, how dare you say that the cover version of Body Surfing is better than the original Ota-san version? But you know what? Come at me.
I don't know. I would argue that it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because when we were talking about this topic and I was trying to think of songs, there were a bunch of songs that I'm more familiar with the cover version.
Yeah.
But then I go back and listen to the original and it's like, oh, the original is still iconic, you know? For this one, I kind of had to dig deep and try to think of songs that I honestly feel like the cover is better than the original, or like at least slightly better than the original. And I think Body Surfing fits that bill. It's just overall better structured.
Yeah.
Because it actually came out in the 80s, the
80s,
Ota-san
okay.
version of Body Surfing, and it sounds very 80s. And it's kind of like,
very
kind
rock,
of dated. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't carry over. Whereas the Pure Heart version, I feel like it's going to be iconic for years. It's never going to lose that luster.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I do have to acknowledge that, like, guaranteed, there's like some purists out there that's gonna be like, "Oh my, I'm done with this podcast."
I don't know.
Because you know, a lot of like ukulele players from our old pod are listening to the new pod, and then like I knew there was something wrong. Now I know it. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. You know?
Now we have 4 listeners instead of 5.
Guess so.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're keeping it real though. You know, that's how you know that we're not afraid to voice our opinion.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll go, I guess. I guess the same way that you feel saying like the new Body Surfing it might be a little controversial. This is a new song, and I feel like it's controversial to say that this version might be better than the original. I like the cover by Good Kid of From the Start by Loive. The Loive version is, if you know her, she does kind of like jazz, lounge, bossa nova, mixed with like kind of pop music, and then so it's that kind of songs.
But she herself is a new artist, right? So
Yeah.
And it's kind of like people are, now I'm into bossa nova because of her or stuff like that. So she's introducing a lot of younger kids to that kind of music, which is very cool. But Good Kid is like kind of like a pop punk band from Canada. Yeah, they did a cover of this bossa nova song, and then they made it into like a pop punk song.
That's so cool. I haven't heard it yet, so I have to, like, right after this podcast, I'm gonna have to listen to it because I love Leve and also love pop punk. So it's like peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah.
it's pretty good. I just listened to it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, when I was thinking about the question of like if the cover is as good or better than the original, when I hear this song, what I think of too is I listen to it and then I stop thinking of the original, and in my head I only hear this version of the song now. And I know the original, and the original is good too, but I feel almost like, damn, this song feels like it was written for them. Just how they chose to make the instruments and, you know, the singer too and stuff. But if you like the original, I totally don't blame you. But just for me, when I think of this song in my head, I can only hear the Good Kid version.
I'm guessing it's female vocals, right?
No, it's a male vocalist.
Male? Oh, dude, that is even more surprising.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit different, but then he has like some of that same warbles that Loive does too. And, you know, people like both versions so much that there's a lot of videos online where they try and mix both versions together. When we were thinking about what podcast to do, that's kind of like why I pitched to you guys like, hey, should we do this for an episode? Because I was like, I want to talk about this song. This song is in my head and I've been listening to it a lot recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that. Damn, you sold me. I'm like a huge Leve fan. Like I followed her from like early Instagram, TikTok days before, like she made it into the big time now. Now she's like winning Grammys and stuff, like before it was just like, kind of started out like how we started out. Like we as in like that, we talked a few episodes back of like the Asian singer-songwriter YouTube kind of generation.
Early
And she's definitely, Asian, which is cool. Like she's this, I think, Chinese, Icelandic girl. I'm like, oh, damn, look, see, it's coming back. So she was doing these like jazz standards, like in playing cello and stuff. It was insane. I think
no, I was gonna say, she has a twin sister who plays violin. Yeah. So she plays cello and her twin sister plays violin.
Yeah, I think they just both play strings, like in general. I'm pretty sure she could play violin also. I think I've seen her play violin. So the first cover I heard from her, I want to say it was what is that song that we did for Ensemble, Aaron?
I Wish You Love.
I Wish You Love. I think that was the first one, but maybe I heard others before then, but that's the one that really hooked me, and then she started doing like bigger and bigger songs and stuff. Awesome. If you guys haven't heard Leve, well, listen, but I'm gonna have to check out this cover. And what I'm getting at, Kai, is because I'm a huge Leve fan, I'll give you my report from a OG Leve fan.
Yeah.
What I think about the cover.
I think most people are, they're pretty receptive to the cover.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, cool. But then there's some big Loewe fans who got mad at Good Kid for doing the cover.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're stealing from Loewe. How dare you, right?
Oh, please.
But then they're like, you guys do know that every time you listen to the song or even when we perform it live, we gotta pay her. Like we're not doing it for free. We're not actually stealing from her. Yeah. It's like we licensed it legally, So Aaron, you wanna go?
Yeah. I don't know which one to lead with. I guess I'll go with this. I'm gonna say that Baby I Love Your Way by Big Mountain is better than Peter Frampton's original version.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's another one that it's like, I didn't know that was a cover song.
Yeah. So this one, I can actually tell you where I was when I first heard this song, or like the Big Mountain version of Baby I Love Your Way. I used to go to there used to be summer programs for kids. There was like an arts program. So you would sign up for this arts program during the summertime and you would choose maybe 2 or 3 different offerings that they had. So I was in piano class, I was in woodworking class, and I was in like a general art class. But they also had like drama and dance and stuff like that too, so you could sign up for whatever. In my piano class, there were some other kids who they were into, like, I was into music, but like they were really into music more than me, and it was like right around the time when CDs started coming out. And so like I didn't have a CD player yet, but they did, and so they were bringing in like, oh, here's the newest CD that I had. Yeah, it must have been like summer of 93 or 4. Whenever the movie Reality Bites came out, it was on the soundtrack for Reality Bites. And so that's how I also know the song My Sharona, which was like, that song actually came out a long time before then, but I only knew it because of the Reality Bites soundtrack. And so they were playing that song like in class, and they were in multiple of my classes. So I think they were also in like woodworking or one of the other ones. And so they brought it into that class too, and they would play it in the background. And so we got to know like all of the songs from the Reality Bites soundtrack, but like that one stood out to me. And I was like, what is this? And it has like horns, and there's like build-ups and swells, and like, oh, it's just such a really amazing arrangement of a song. And it wasn't until later that I heard the original Peter Frampton version, which is like, it's good, but it's not anything near like the Big Mountain version. Yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think?
No, that version slaps, man.
I feel like it's definitely like easily better than the original.
Yeah, I agree. And with all three of our picks, guaranteed there's some purists out there. You're like, I'm done with this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, that I guess so. I don't know. You gotta really be into like the Peter Frampton though to be like, what are they talking about? This version isn't as good. Yeah, that version is awesome.
How many versions does Peter Frampton have of that song? Because I know I've heard the live one from the Peter Frampton that comes alive.
Yeah.
Is there like a regular version that's not live?
I'm not too sure, but I think that's like the standard, right? What you would reference when you're saying the original.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think I've heard any other version from Peter Frampton. I mentioned that only because like I would like to hear like a studio version of that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what, you know, the intended like
arrangements.
You know, that's not live. Yeah, the arrangement like that he would with that. Maybe I'll look it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, still though, like the Big Mountain version is just so much grander and like there's so much stuff happening. Like you said, there's all these horns that's kind of going off and stuff. It's just, they really nailed it with that cover, man.
And it starts off a cappella too.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just going at it like full tilt from the beginning.
No.
They're doing it like intentionally. They're making it swell and ebb and flow, and so like,
dude, the harmonies right off the bat that hits you.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And to this day, like that's one of the songs that I will use to test out speakers or headphones just because it has everything. Like, you know, the balance, the mix is very well done. Like whoever produced it and whoever mixed and mastered it, they just like did such a solid job that I can hear in whatever speaker system that I'm trying to test out. If I can hear all of the different elements where they need to be, then like I know that it's a good speaker system or headphones. So yeah, that and there's like another Big Mountain song that I use to test out. I know it as like You Stole My Heart Away, but it's not, I don't think the title is You Stole My Heart Away. It's something else, but that's like the first line of it too, is You Stole My Heart Away. But I don't know. Yeah, it's another Big Mountain song. I don't think the title is that, but The Only One, I think it's called The Only One.
I was gonna say, like, to be totally honest, I didn't see Reality Bites. I've never seen it, but I know that that's how people heard of this song too, right? And if you look up the music video, don't they have like clips of Reality Bites in the music video itself too?
Yeah, they do.
But then I looked up the original by Peter Frampton, and there is a studio version, not the live version.
Oh, there's a studio version?
It came out in 75, and then the live version came out in like 77, I think.
Oh, so the studio one came first.
Yeah.
I see. I'm not familiar with Peter Frampton's catalog. See, so the purest Peter Frampton is like, see, you didn't even know
go
that.
Listen to the studio version. That's like
go
what he
educate
intended.
yourself.
Yeah, I guess I have to go and do that too.
But like the iconic version is the live one, right? That's the one that like everybody plays. That's why I haven't heard the studio version of that. It's because everyone plays the live one. That is considered as I think the quintessential version of that song.
Yeah, even Big Mountain's version too. It's kind of funny because I think I didn't know that they weren't from Hawaii. Like I've just heard this song so much on radio over here.
Local radio.
Yeah, that I just thought, oh, they're like, you know, they're a local band or whatever. And then I found out they're like a Southern California band or like a California band.
Yeah. I think the lead singer is like Mexican or something, or he's some kind of like Latin American. Or yeah. And so it was like one of those reggae fusion bands.
Yeah.
Because I think he sings in Spanish in some of their songs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so my second choice is going to be another local tune, okay? You probably guessed it. It's actually a twofer. It's two cover songs in one that I feel like is just as, if not better than the original. At least to me, okay? This is my list, so go make your own list if you disagree. No. Drop, Baby, Drop. Drop, Baby, Drop. Original by Eddie Grant. Not bad. I do like the groove of that song. I like the way that he did it. Really catchy song, but I think much like Big Mountain doing a cover of Ooh Baby I Love Your Way, I think that Mana'o Company really redefined that song. And it didn't come up with anything super fancy like the Big Mountain version, like all these horns and stuff, but I think the way that they did it, it just solidified what that song should have been. To me, okay, again, don't come after me. All you Eddie Grant fans out there. It is honestly such a great song because I think the version that everyone's familiar with, they think it's the Manao Company version of that song, but it's actually a Sean Na'awao version of that song, which is also a good cover of that song. But the Manao Company version of that song, I feel like that's Drop Baby Drop. At least for somebody who grew up on the islands, you know, that is the quintessential version of that song. And just like how I did with the first one, I'll mention a couple others that are on the same vein. The Manao Company's version of Roots Rockin' is just as good, if not better, than the original version of Roots Rockin'. But their version of 96 Degrees in the Shade, I felt like was also just as good, if not better, than the original.
Yeah.
All these controversial takes.
Well, I'm kind of laughing because you talking about Manao Company and their other cover songs.
Yeah.
It's just funny because it's like, that actually is the formula for local bands. It's like 90% of our CD is going to be cover songs. And then maybe 10% or like 1 or 2 is going to be an original, right? That's why so much of the songs we grew up with, you know, we talk about and it's like, oh yeah, I love that song. And we might talk to somebody in the mainland and they're like, what are you talking about? That's not an original. It's like, oh, really? Well, I've never heard the original, I guess.
Dude, Drop Baby Drop. Because all the ukulele players that play that during like their ukulele clubs and stuff, that's like the Sean Na'awao version. So if you're familiar with like the ukulele version of a song, that's the version. Manao Company has no ukuleles in it. At least not that I know of. That, for me, the quintessential version of that song. They're not the original, but that was the one that really defined it. I just remembered what was going to be my second one, and I think people in this podcast might disagree with me. I'll save that for the last one.
Okay.
Because they're like, no, you're crazy. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna tease it right now, and then just, okay?
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention like Eddie Grant's the original Drop Baby Drop.
Yeah.
It was on his album Killer on the Rampage.
Yep.
Looking at the track listing of Killer on the Rampage, it has Electric Avenue.
Yep.
It has I Don't Wanna Dance, which was covered by Ka'u in Hawaii.
Pound for Pound. I think
Pound for Pound?
Yeah, Pound for
Oh
Pound.
yeah, I guess both of them, right? Did
Yep.
I Don't
That's why I knew as soon as you said the album, I'm like, oh, he's gonna go through the list right now.
Yeah. And then it also has War Party on it.
Yep.
Who did a cover of that in Hawaii?
I want to say Sean Na'awao.
Sean
I think
Na'awao,
so. Yeah. I think
Yeah. So this was like a really influential album. Like it's a reggae album that for some reason it was like one of those albums that I guess made it to Hawaii. One of the reggae albums that made it to Hawaii, and then everybody covered everything on it.
Yeah.
Except for Electric Avenue. I don't think I've ever heard anybody do a cover of Electric Avenue.
I'll do it, everybody.
Which was like the biggest hit from this album, like for Eddie Grant.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a band in Hawaii that wants to do a cover to put on the radio that's gonna fly under the radar, I think that's not the song to do, right? Because if they did Electric Avenue, they're like, that's Eddie Grant. That's straight up. That's Eddie Grant, you know? But if you do like Drop Baby Drop, people are like, that's a good new song. Did you hear this new song by Manao Company? You know?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so Manao Company came out with that first, and then Sean.
And then Sean Na'awao.
Okay.
Yeah, because Sean Na'awao was in Manao Company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. So he did his own version when he went solo.
Okay. And it's even funny that there's like 2 local bands that did a cover. And I'm sure there are people who are like, what do you mean? This band did the original. And then somebody else is like, no, it's this other local band who did the original. And both of them are wrong, right? Because it's like somebody totally different. Or something.
Eddie Grant.
But yeah, the version that everybody plays in their ukulele club is this kind of almost sped up island strummy, you know, kind of version of a song. Yeah, that's Sean Na'awao, you guys. Because the Manao Company version is still pretty reggae. It's not that kind of island style-ish version of the song. If you're looking for that, that's Sean Na'awao. Dropping some knowledge in these people, Kahai. Which is one of the original members of Manao Company. They're like, you know what? Why don't I do a cover of the song we were famous for? Which, not a bad idea.
And you teased that your third song is like, might get you...
Pitchforks.
This song that I'm going to mention right now, you know, the Loive song, I thought like... Maybe Aldrin will, you know, we'll
I
start
haven't heard it yet, so we'll see.
But this song that I'm going to mention right now, I'm ready to start some beef.
Ooh.
I think the cover of Eleanor Rigby by Cody Fry is better than the original.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
people are gonna,
all right.
gonna hate.
Dude, I'm gonna hate.
Yeah. I thought that was gonna happen.
I gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it. You gotta send that to me. So now I have 2 songs I gotta listen to.
Yeah.
And see if I'm gonna come after Kahai for.
Because it also ties into what Aaron said about Baby I Love Your Way, where it's like that is on my playlist of headphone or audio equipment testing playlist, you know? I use that to like listen and be like, oh, okay, I can hear this, I can hear that. But, you know, it kind of sticks to the original. I think it might be in the original key, but he uses a full orchestra to remake that song. The way I think of it is like if John Williams arranged Eleanor Rigby. Yeah.
So that's a great selling. That's a good pitch.
I think it's like a string run or like a flute run at the very beginning. And it's like, is this supposed to be a nod or a motif from Home Alone? Like, it sounds like Home Alone, which John Williams also did the music for, right? So
I gotta listen to it. But I know that Cody Fry doesn't half-ass any of those arrangements that he does. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
I like the original too. But again, it's the thing where when I think of this song now, I think of Cody Fry's version. And I'm sure people are gonna be pissed off that I said this, right? Like, how can you say that it's better than the original?
Yeah.
But I mean, this song also won him a Grammy. So I think there's some people who also think maybe not like it's better than the original, but they're like, damn, this is a good song. You know, this is a good arrangement of this song. So as good.
Can't get any better than the Beatles version of songs like Hello Goodbye and Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. You know, these are Beatles have no songs that you could do better.
Yeah, I've already mentioned a version of Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time that's better than the original.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Can somebody just strike those 2 songs off their catalog? Because it taints such a wonderful catalog. I'm pretty sure that is gonna get me canceled.
Yeah.
To say that.
People are like, that's my favorite Christmas song.
That's my favorite
I listen
Christmas
to
song.
it every Christmas.
I love that I know all the words because there's just one line.
Yeah.
Don't you love the choir of children singing the song?
I just thought of maybe a future podcast topic. What are song or music things that would get us in hot water? Because it's like, yeah, the Beatles, there's like a lot of songs that I know I could say and people would be like, that's my favorite Beatles song. And I would be like, oh, really? That's your favorite? Why? But yeah. Okay.
Some people have bad taste.
I have to say that Joe Cocker's version of With a Little Help from My Friends is definitely better than the original Beatles.
Ooh. The Wonder Years?
Yes.
Is that the opening version? Yes. Yeah, okay. All right. I concede that is the better version of that song.
Yeah, because it has that guitar riff too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so bluesy
soulful,
that like I didn't realize that song was going to be like really well done in a blues way. But like, damn, the way that he does it, it's like you would never see it from that angle. But when they did it, it's like, yeah, why isn't this song like this originally?
Yeah, the original Beatles version is kind of like a bouncy, happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, it's happy.
But like, Joe Cocker did that cover and it's like,
okay,
wow.
I agree. I'm a huge Beatles fan, and I'm like, I concede.
And because of the Wonder Years, I think maybe my nostalgia has like some effect on like why I think that.
You're absolutely right, because I mean, I've watched Wonder Years before. I don't have any kind of sentimental attachment to it or whatever, and I like that.
And you still,
better. Yeah. I agree, and I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Was that a example of like that you heard that version first, Aaron, and then only learned later on that it was like, oh, this is actually a Beatles song?
I guess so. I don't think I could have heard the Beatles version before I started watching Wonder Years.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, it's by the Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's not. Just for the record.
So. Yeah.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. All right. Can we?
So not technically.
Yeah, not technically the Beatles. Okay. All right. So
even though doesn't it say the Beatles on the album cover?
Yeah.
It's like, of course, for like licensing or whatever, right?
Yeah,
they gotta
yeah,
put their.
It's a funeral for the Beatles as they're all looking down on the flower arrangement that looks like a bass guitar because it has 4 sticks on it.
It's like, like Come Together, I think, right?
Yeah.
People try to analyze the lyrics for that, and then they're like, it obviously means this or it means that. And I think the Beatles themselves have said like, no, it means nothing. Guys, we did a lot of drugs. It means nothing. So it's like, I think even the Beatles themselves, because like, was it like Across the Universe where they're like, we're not actually really happy with the recording. We would rather redo it. But yeah, it's just what we had to put out at the time. So
Yeah.
even some of their stuff, I think they're like, yeah, it's okay. It's what we did, but not necessarily like our favorite of that song too.
Yeah, it's like we took an entire trip to India and did this finding peace thing. We gotta write a song to show for it.
Or it's like, who wrote the lyrics for the song? Because they're like, I was just pissed off at my wife, and that's why I wrote that song. And the lyrics are based on that. So
Across the Universe?
yeah, I think that's
Okay,
the story.
I mean, if you're saying pissed off at his wife, that sounds like a John Lennon thing.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know.
Yeah, but you mentioned that song, but it wasn't one of your picks, right, Aaron?
Oh, no.
You just brought it up.
No, yeah, just within the same vein.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
Kind of flowing off of that, I don't think that Boyz II Men's version of Yesterday is better than the original, but I do think that their a cappella version of Can You Stand the Rain is better than the original by New Edition. So
I'm not familiar with that song. Yeah.
yeah, so like the song Can You Stand the Rain, it's like that quintessential 80s boy band song by New Edition.
Yeah, I've heard that version, but I don't think I heard the Boyz II Men version.
Yeah, and then I mean, Boyz II Men is named after a New Edition song, right? So they really like looked up to New Edition, and that's kind of what they wanted to do in the 90s is become like the next New Edition, right? They started off just as an a cappella group, and I think Can You Stand the Rain is the thing that they use to like pitch to the record company, or like that it's one of the things that they would do just like on the street corner to show off like that they're a group. And then they put it on one of their albums, and yeah, it's just good. And I feel like it's better than the original. It's an a cappella version, but they do a really good job filling in all of the different, I guess, frequencies, you know? Because the New Edition version has like instrumentation in the background, and then they're kind of featuring all of the different vocalists within the group. And Boyz II Men was able to do it as an a cappella version, and I still think it's better than the original. So you can side by side it and tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I think
I'll check it out. See, there's like so much songs I gotta listen to now.
yeah, it's not leagues better than the original, but I think that it is like at least slightly better than the original song.
I hope there's somebody who listens to this podcast and then they're like, guys, I was on board through everything you said, but then when Aaron brought up New Edition, I just couldn't listen anymore. That's one line crossed too far.
Yeah. Some things are unforgivable, everybody.
Yeah.
And slander about New Edition, I won't stand for it.
As I'm looking at my New Edition poster hanging on my wall, listening to this, I couldn't.
I gotta listen to it. I got no comments. I gotta listen to it. I like that song though.
So it's for all of the people who are standing up for Bobby Brown. Who? He's a good guy. Don't pick on him.
Hey, everyone in the 80s was okay. That was not uncommon in the 80s. Or so I've heard. I was born in 84, so I was max 6-year-old in the 80s, but I heard that era was fun. According to Bobby Brown.
yeah. He had a little too much fun.
Yeah, Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, according to those two people, I heard it was fun. It was fun.
Okay, what was the one that you remembered?
Okay, don't hate me.
That's what this whole podcast, edition of the podcast is about.
No, see, outside of the three of us in here, I'm like, okay, well, whatever, but I'm gonna say it, and you might agree, but you most likely will disagree.
I'm so excited.
But I feel like Kalapana's version of When the Morning Comes is better than Hall & Oates. There, I said it.
Okay.
I said it.
Nah, that's not spicy. I don't care. Yeah.
Okay, Aaron's a big Hall & Oates guy. And now I'm gonna have to be honest. I heard the Kalapana version first, and that's what I'm most familiar with. Riffs, everything. It's basically identical, you know, like the two versions, except that Kalapana just like cranked up all the things that made the song great. They really doubled down on the riffs and the instrumentation of that song, and it felt like they dialed it up to 11. Whereas like the Hall & Oates like kind of concentrated on the song itself. But like the Kalapana version from like that you know, that part and like the keyboard that kind of does that riff, they like cranked it up. They're like, I want to hear that keyboard, you know, like I'm gonna need more cowbell. It's the same energy. Somebody in the studio went, can you turn that up, because I can't get enough of that. So whatever, like that keyboard part that was doing that, and then the bass just kind of bumps with the with the bass is also melodic in that song. It wasn't just like an afterthought. Not saying that like the Hall & Oates version the bass is afterthought, but it's just like I think the mixing on the bass just made it sound a lot more melodic. So everything's just melodies coming straight at you, right at your face, Kahai. It's just all over. It's just punching you, and your musical senses just go through all this journey when listening to that song. And then the harmonies kick in. I don't know. I just think that version is better than Hall & Oates, which is a bold statement.
Yeah. Actually, When the Morning Comes wasn't really one of Hall & Oates like hits, right?
No.
So yeah, so I think it was sort of meant to be more of like a B-side for them anyway. And I did hear that when Kalapana was making that first album, because it was on the first Kalapana album, right?
No, with the four,
Yeah, they flew to like California and recorded it. And I heard that when they were making that album, they said that every song had to be a hit because they weren't necessarily making it for the Hawaii audience, even though they were from Hawaii. They were making it so that they could stand out even like on the mainland.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't take any chances. Every song on this album has to be hit worthy, or else they're not even gonna take another look at this group from Hawaii. I think they had way more songs than they recorded, and then they narrowed it down to just the ones that ended up on that album, and then just really made sure that every song, like, you know, and so that's why like you can play that entire album and just loop it. Like there's no
it's so good
bad song on that album.
So good.
Yeah, and I think that was the only cover, right, on that album.
I think so. But I was surprised because I was gonna mention this, that Kalapana, like the group, is not like just a Hawaii only. Like, and it's not like something that people recently discovered, like Kalapana. No, like people in the Philippines was crazy for Kalapana. I heard that song when I was young, prior to moving to Hawaii. So like Kalapana made it to our shores, and then a bunch of people in the mainland know Kalapana, not knowing that they were like, because my wife knew Kalapana. Her dad had all these Kalapana albums, but it's not like her dad was particularly into anything like Hawaiian or anything like that. Yeah, he was just into, you know, rock, 70s, that kind of music, and Kalapana was just one of those albums that was always around. So she knew that entire album, not really knowing that like they were a 70s group from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Whatever goal that they had set making that album, they definitely reached that goal because it reached a bunch of C's that it was meant to, I guess.
Yeah, I think I would agree to, especially that bass line. They really solidified that bass line.
Yeah, and the way that it's mixed, right?
Yeah,
because it stands out. Because like most basses is meant to just be groundwork, but then that was like very melodic.
Yeah, compared to the Hall & Oates version.
I think saying that version is better than the Hall & Oates version, it might raise people's like hackles. Is that what it like on the mainland, right? Where Hall & Oates is big, but I know like Kalapana extended out of Hawaii.
Yeah,
but especially here in Hawaii, it's like Kalapana is kind of revered as like they're one of the greats, you know. So
yeah, they're like the Beatles of Hawaii. I feel like.
Yeah, you know, even if you don't like them, I think you would be like, yeah, I can't deny that they're
gotta respect it.
Yeah.
And then it still does say something about John Hall, right?
Hell yeah. Right? I mean, that's not taking anything away.
Yeah, this was like an afterthought sort of a song. Like, I wanted to make this song. It was good. But I think for him, just the fact that other people thought enough about this one song that wasn't meant to be like a hit for him, somebody else could take his B-side song and make it a hit. That says a lot, you know.
This, like, hands down, I think in every way that is a cover that sticks true to the original, but just amplifies it. You know, they didn't change it. You know, the arrangement wasn't changed, like the lyrics wasn't changed, the groove is relatively the same. You know, it's groovier because of the instrumentation that they did, but the basic gist of the song did not change. So I think that particular version of the song is what I consider to be a perfect cover, because there's no gimmick, you know, like for example, I like that 6/8 version of Is This Love by what's his name?
Alan Stone.
Alan Stone. I love that version, but it's its own thing. Like it's a cover, but it's like got its own thing. But this one is almost like 1-to-1 a cover, but it's just done better, you know, like in every
it's
way.
pretty easy to compare the two and just say like, oh yeah, this one is
it's that
slightly more tuned.
So that's why I think it's a controversial take, because for people they're like, how dare you, they didn't even change it that much. And it's Hall & Oates, you know, how do you it's Hall & Oates. They took it and they basically did the same exact thing but turned it up to 11, and it just made for like the perfect cover. You know what else is like that, Kahai? 1-to-1 but better. Maroon 5's cover of Three Little Birds.
Really?
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
I was gonna say, I think that would piss off the most people out of anything we've ever said on this podcast.
No, that version is horrendous. I think for the extra, I want to talk about like covers that were not as good.
Crap all over.
Man,
Yeah.
I gotta think about that, but yeah.
That is a poopy version of what is a great and iconic song. It's like everyone knows Three Little Birds, yeah. And then like, okay, cool. Wow, I love Maroon 5. Oh no.
You know, like when you're building up to that, I was like waiting, like, okay, what is he gonna say? And then when you said it, it's like when you eat something and it tastes so bad that you just gotta sit there and be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what's in my mouth?
Maroon 5 fans, come at me, but you better come at me strong, because you gotta have a strong argument for that one.
I don't know. That's not defensible. I don't know.
No, it's not. Have you heard that version, Kai?
Even that, I think maybe once, but not even the full song. I think I might have turned it off. It's like
you don't have to, because the entire time you're like, something's gonna happen, you know, like it can't just be this. Like Maroon 5 is gonna like do something in the song to turn this around, and then they don't.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But yeah, that's my controversy. That's my third one. I want to stick to it. I think that the Kalapana version is better than Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kai.
Well, I was gonna say, Aaron, were you gonna bring up Is This Love? I thought that might have been one of your picks too.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
You can go for it.
Oh no. I thought you were gonna bring it up, and that was kind of like on the sideline for me, but that's not one of my picks.
Okay, no, go ahead.
So my song, I don't know if you guys know this version too. Such Great Heights, and the original by the Postal Service, but the version that I like is by Streetlight Manifesto. And yeah,
I love that song. Like Such Great Heights. Again, I got us in the Streetlight Manifesto version of that song, and I know that's like one of your favorite bands. So I'm gonna have to give this one a try, but I love Such Great Heights.
Yeah.
Okay, just
It's a high bar you gotta clear.
It is. No, it is, dude. As mid to late 2000s emo scene kid, like Such Great Heights, you know, that's near and dear to my heart. So next episode, you're going to hear my reports on all three of your covers that you just gave. Because all three of them, I'm pretty close to.
This one, for me, I think it's better than the original. But for most people, I don't know if it would be. Like if they're like you, where they really like the original. But then when I was looking up cover songs, I had my list and I was trying to think of songs. And I came across this song, or I started listening to it again. And it's one of those songs where as soon as it started playing, it took me like right back to high school, like right where I was when I first heard that song. So I was like, oh, there are other songs that I have too on my list, but I was like, I think I gotta mention this song just for that personal impact of like, it takes me right back to a specific time in my life. So that's why it's meaningful to me. But I don't know, other people might be like, whatever. But it's a part of a cover album that Streetlight Manifesto did, and they have some other great songs too. Like Me and Julio Went Down to the Schoolyard. The album is called 99 Songs for a Revolution, something like that. But yeah, so Streetlight Manifesto is a ska band. And if you think of the intro for Such Great Heights, where it's like kind of is it like a synthesizer, or it's like kind of that electric sound, the da-da-da-da-da, like the tapping kind of sound?
Yeah.
They do that with the horns. And like that, immediately when I heard that, I was like, holy crap, this is so good.
As a trumpet player, that's like impressive.
I don't like trumpets. I'll be honest. As a trumpet player, I don't like hearing trumpets. I don't even care. But it's like the fact that they were able to recreate that sound. And then I think in the original, it's like a low bass note comes in, and instead they have the tenor sax play that note. And when it comes in too, it's like it hits kind of the same thing. Where yeah, for me, it's like when I think of versions, I think of Streetlight Manifesto's version of the song too. I think that's the one that's stuck in my head.
Yeah, I heard the Me and Julio. I actually really enjoyed that, like that version. I wouldn't say it's better than the original and stuff, but I do like that version. I think their take on it, because the Paul Simon version was kind of upbeat, happy anyway, you know. But I think Streetlight takes it to a different level, and I like that take on it. Yeah, I gotta listen to Such Great Heights. That one, I don't know how I missed that, because I love that song.
Yeah,
so I'll check it out. But like a good ska cover, and I thought of it as soon as you said 99, but that 99 Red Balloons by Goldfinger.
That's my pick, actually.
Oh, sorry.
That's my final pick.
Sorry for stealing it. Okay, go ahead. I'll just let Aaron talk about it then. Damn. Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I didn't know you're gonna mention that, but okay. So I guess a segue to Aaron.
That's actually the song that I thought Kahai was gonna bring up.
Oh, okay.
99 Red Balloons by Goldfinger. Compared to the original by Nina.
Oh, so, hands down. The Goldfinger version, damn, dude, that is it. That's like what the song was supposed to be. Because it's such a rebellious song, you know?
Yeah.
And talks about like a better tomorrow kind of thing. So when Goldfinger did it and got all these guitars, and it's so like ska, rock and roll,
punk,
like
kind of
punk take on it. It's just like that's it. And if we're talking like with the theme, I feel like sends that message a lot clearer, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like even for people who are more familiar with the Nina version when it like originally came out, if you side by side, I think these two covers, Goldfinger really took the meaning behind it and like put it into action. But yeah, so like I think I was telling Kahai that I was thinking that he was gonna bring up this song, and so like I had some other ones that were similar that I could put in there too. And so like same thing with Take On Me by Real Big Fish.
Okay,
like I don't know if that it's better than the original, but it is like turned up.
Yeah,
like you know, they add in the horns and like the instrumentation.
Can I say one too? That another one on my list that I thought you might have in the same vein, Aaron. Gin and Juice by the Berlin Project.
Yeah. That I don't know if that's better than the original, but
good.
It's an interesting cover and a fun cover.
Yeah. You know, trying to find covers, it's like I looked up ska covers, and there's actually like a lot.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like the same way that local bands do stuff. They took songs from different genres or songs that maybe they heard growing up, and then they just do it in a ska way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot. Oh, another one that I think I heard and I didn't even know it wasn't an original is Super Spy by what's that band that you really like, Aaron?
Oh, Say Ferris.
Yeah. But then that's like a jazz song or something.
Yeah. And then I guess the other one, people don't remember that Smash Mouth was a ska band, and they did like a cover of Why Can't We Be Friends on their Foshu Mang album, I think. But that's like another one. Like the original song by War is kind of iconic, but I think Smash Mouth did a pretty damn good job of updating that and making it kind of feel like, because the original War one was like a little bit slower in tempo, and it was bringing in some of that 70s vibe of like, oh yeah, why can't we be friends? And then Smash Mouth was more like, I guess it came out in the 90s, so it was more like, hey, more in your face, like, come on, like, why can't we be friends, you know?
Yeah.
Both of those, like the Real Big Fish version of Take On Me and Smash Mouth's Why Can't We Be Friends, I don't know if I have like a very good argument that they're better than the original, but they're at least as good. good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think especially for us growing up in that time period, it's like those were kind of iconic songs where I think that's how we were introduced to those songs. And so thinking that, oh yeah, that song is the version, right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that there's an original.
Yeah. But 99 Red Balloons by Goldfinger is arguably better than
Yeah.
the original.
Oh, yeah. Not even arguable. I don't think anyone's gonna argue that.
What is but the original like version is like in German, right? So it's 99
Yeah, but she does do like, you know, an English version. But then Goldfinger also does a nod to that because they do a verse in German too, right? So it's not like they didn't honor the original.
Yeah, when are we gonna do that cover, Aaron? Not live, because I've been waiting to do that cover live.
Yeah, I gotta learn it. It's hard because like it's deceptively high. Like, you know, the lead singer of Goldfinger can reach like some pretty high notes. So
Yeah.
I would have to maybe, I don't know. Yeah, because it's like at least 2 octaves, right?
And then it goes down 99.
Yeah.
So you can't even take it lower, you know?
If we brought it down, then it might be like a little too low. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's definitely my 3 picks.
Very good.
So.
Very good, dude. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Jeff, those are great picks. Those are great picks. I would like to do the reverse of this, if you guys don't mind, for the bonus of like what's not a good cover.
What's not good?
Yeah, because I mean we already gave them like a bunch of like, you know, good and then like a bunch of extras also. So if we did it on the extended PPPod, we're like, oh, here's more songs. That's good. It's kind of like what we did in this episode already. But I feel like we should go the opposite direction on the bonus. We're like, what's
Do
not
the
a
heel
good
turn?
one?
Yeah.
I gave one and I'm sticking to that. You know, come at me like Maroon 5 fans, because you can't defend it. So that's a little teaser.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna drop a way more controversial take on the extended PP than I did with When the Morning Comes. I think you know what I'm about to talk about as far as covers that are not as good as the original.
Okay.
You know, there's one that comes to mind that if I said it, pitchforks, knives, swords, right at my throat. Okay, but in order to listen to it, you're gonna have to check out the extended PPPod. Which, Kahai, where can they go listen to?
Yeah, you can catch the extended PPPod at patreon.com/PPPod.
Yeah, I usually don't tease the pod or the extra pod this hard to entice you guys to join and stuff, but it really is one of those like, if I said it on the normal pod, like I have to say it on the extended PPPod, because if I said it on a normal pod, you know, if people get wind of it, they're like, oh my god, I knew I hated that guy. I knew I hated that guy. There's a reason why I like other ukulele players better than Eldrin Guerrero.
You know, we started doing something too with the extended PP where it's we do weekly recommendations. So I just post, besides the extended pod, you can just find it on our Patreon, where it's like weekly recs from things we mentioned in the extended PP. But for this one, are we gonna do weekly recs and it's like all terrible songs and people are like, what the fuck did they recommend this for? These are horrible.
Yeah. It's recommended to not listen to about that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because you'll see what it is. I'm pretty sure you can guess already what I'm going to talk about, but it's a doozy. If there was one episode to subscribe to, it would be that second one that we did. The one that was hilarious, but this is a good second place.
Okay.
Anyone else want to bring up anything before we head on back into our huts in this pastime paradise?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some people will feel like, nah, what you guys said wasn't that bad. But if you feel like you gotta come after us with your pitchforks, let us know in the comments at least.
Yeah.
You know, disagree with us.
The best way to really stick it to us is to sign up for the Patreon and then leave a comment on the Patreon saying, hey, I didn't like your take on When the Morning Comes, okay? But you gotta sign up for the Patreon, and so that you can comment on it first. So that's how you stick it to us.
So all the people who disagree, type in lowercase, like just type like, hey, I didn't agree with what you said. But if you're like, oh yeah, the songs you guys mentioned are awesome, then you have to type in uppercase and make it seem mad. It's like, hey, I agreed with everything you said and I liked all the songs and I just wanted to leave a comment, you know? So yeah.
I don't care what they type, as long as as they subscribe and then type it. So sign up, subscribe to the Patreon on the what's the tier that they got to pay for?
Strandy tier.
Yeah, as long as they're doing it from a Strandy tier, you can type whatever you want. Tell us, please, with your pitchforks. But you gotta be subscribed as a Strandy tier, and then really stick it to us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how it's gonna hurt us.
Yeah, all the comments who say like are mad or disagree or whatever, if you sign up for a Strandy tier, I'll still heart them. I'll still like them.
All right. Okay, well, gentlemen, it is past our time here in paradise. We will see you folks next time. Hui ho. Have a great one. Shoots.